How many S13s do you own?
2.
Do you think they're junk?
Overall, as a car, yeah. But as a like passion project car,
Oh, they're awesome.
they're awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right? And the chassis is really fun to goof around in.
Hell yeah.
Period.
Welcome back to the #1 Drift Podcast on YouTube. I am Dawson.
I'm Nate.
And
I'm David.
that dude in blue.
Welcome.
We've got a special one for you. So, as we just talked about this off camera and stuff, we both grew up watching him. So, this is going to be a good one for us. But we will be speaking on the Clutch Kickers ending. I've got a little shit to say about that because I told you.
He did call it. I was like, no way.
Yeah, they're not quitting. Anyway, we'll get to that later. But grab the merch, circleofdrift.com. Christmas merch is the only thing up there right now. Actually, by this episode, it'll be gone. God, that's hard. That's so
Timing
fucking
is
hard to talk in
everything.
the future, man. But introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us a little about yourself if they don't know you.
Sure. I'm David
not
Patterson.
to.
I've been filming cars since 2011. And basically, back in the day on YouTube, there was almost no younger people on the channels at all.
Yeah.
And also, nobody was reviewing or filming modified cars on YouTube for the most part. In a really nice format. You know, typically it was like, check out my buddy's Terminator going down the street.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, cool, done, 30
Yeah.
seconds. But anyway, getting sidetracked already. But been run a YouTube channel called That Dude in Blue. Driven over 1,400 cars by now, which is
God
pretty
damn.
bananas.
Christ, man.
And I am so freaking lucky to still be doing it to this day in 2022.
On the spot, real quick, what was the worst and the best car?
Bro. Okay, so I'm not going to say worst one was a... God, I don't want to say it. Anyway,
They're not going to get mad.
the worst one was this teenager's quote-unquote race car. He emailed me. He spammed my email for months and months and months and months. And by the way, if you're watching, I'm not angry. And he was like, hey, look at all these photos. Like, look at all these photos of me working on the car. I'm like, okay, I can work with this here because at least he's trying.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And my idea was let's show like a teenager's idea of a race car versus an adult, like an adult in the car scene.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, it was so dangerous. I can't believe I made it out. Like, so basically, like, the brake caliper was mounted wrong. So, like, I would get on the brakes and it would yaw like this and go the wrong way.
Yep. I remember
The
that
harnesses
video,
were mounted to the floorboard and not like a roll cage or a harness bar. So that'd break your neck probably. And about like 3 weeks later, the top hat of the coilover snapped off the tower. Like, it was just gnarly. Like, it was a learning experience, right?
But at the same time, when you were 17, like, I don't know about you guys, I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but that's
yeah,
why
it
I'm
was a
not
slop.
angry about it.
Yeah.
Is just like, in hindsight, holy smokes, I'm glad I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know? And then memorable wise, man, I mean, there's so many. This is a weird one. It's so funny because it's so out of what I usually drive. My most memorable day reviewing cars was probably the first time I drove exotic cars because it felt like I had finally made it in a way.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's
And specifically a Porsche 918. You know, it was $1 million car.
Yeah.
And I remember getting in and going,
Still ugly,
$1 million,
sorry.
$1 million. But it was more for, you know, it was the year of the big three, you know, the LaFerrari,
Yeah.
the Porsche
Yeah.
918 and the P1. And I just had this amazing opportunity to drive this car and you're not going to say no. And I drove it for 45 minutes, like a bat out of hell. You know, like it was just such a cool moment.
I
yeah.
bet that would feel like a holy fuck, I made it. moment,
Yeah,
for
because it
sure.
was
doing the thing.
It was
Yeah.
July of 2015 because the day before I drove the Huracan right when it came out, and then an Aventador the same day. And I was like, holy crap, I'm doing it. Like, I'm actually doing it. And then,
Dude, it's lucky that you're as humble as you are. Because if I did that, dude, I would go back into my house, kick my door open. You couldn't tell me shit, dude.
well, what's funny is,
Why's my kitchen
Well,
dirty?
actually, did those videos perform the way you thought they would?
you know what's funny? Yes, they did good. Like,
I feel like most supercar stuff does, just because even the generic
everybody
person can be
likes
like,
supercars.
oh my God.
Not anymore.
Oh, really?
No. So when I do exotics now, they never do good. And I think it's a disconnect. I think it's one of these things where it's not relatable to people unless you're like a channel that focuses on exotic
Yeah, like
cars.
daily driven.
Yeah. So like with me, it's always been about the story.
I feel like nowadays it's kind of turning into that douchebag stereotype.
It is, and
More than
along with
anything.
that, out of many people's personal experiences, a lot of people who own those cars, there are two different types of people. Personal opinion. One, they get it because they love cars and they made it in life and they really enjoy it.
The other people are status people.
Status people, exactly. Yeah. And when you talk to those status people, be like, so tell me the horsepower of your own car, and they don't know.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're just like, I just liked it. I'm like, okay, yeah. So not crapping on people for buying cars because they like them. People do that all the time.
Yeah.
But
we had a guest on here, Jeff Knox, and and he didn't dude, he's cool as fuck. We hung out with him like really 2 hours after the podcast. Like, he was a very cool guy. Yeah. But he purchased a drift car, like a ex Formula car, and we like asked him about it, and he didn't know a whole lot about it. And like, I remember being like, I'm not talking shit about you. I was just saying, like, it was a hard podcast because it was like, I'd ask him something. I was like, what's the displacement? He didn't know.
Sure.
Because he just, you know what I'm saying? He would have to have the book that the car came with to know what it was, because he bought it all one set. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
The difference with him, though, is he was actually like putting in he was trying to learn.
Oh, he's going to take that part. He'll be able to tell us. That's all the
difference.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I think there's a difference in buying a car for like a fashion statement. And then there's a difference in buying a car and asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main difference.
Well, he's broken.
That's a good way to put that, actually.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want him to think I was talking shit. I'm not.
No.
That's why I was trying to clarify that a little bit for you.
Yeah.
But actually, run through a couple of your projects real quick, because I know your channel doesn't see as much of your own projects.
Where to start? How many S13s do you own?
2.
Do you think they're junk?
Overall, as a car, yeah.
Gotcha,
But
bitch.
as a like passion project car,
Oh, they're awesome.
they're awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right. And the chassis is really fun to goof around in.
Hell yeah.
Period. I mean, it's all about perception. Like, if you were to compare an S13 to a modern sports car now, you'd be like, why? Why do you drive this?
Dude, drive the new. This is how you know that an S13 is not a super good car, is because, dude, a like 2021 Altima with the 2.0 turbo motor would smack an S13.
Oh yeah, not even
smack
close.
it, dude. It's not even close. Handle better and everything. But it's like, that's what people don't understand when we make that joke that they're junk. It's an S chassis thing. Like, we know they're junk. That's why we buy them. You know.
That's why every single person in the comment of that reel
who had a badass
had a
S13
240 or something, like, they're like, yeah, these things are junk, but they're fun.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all you need to know. They're junk but fun, and that's okay.
There you go. There's your real Dawson.
So my projects have the worst luck on the planet. And I'm sure everybody feels that way, but I could probably do a 6-hour podcast of everything that's gone wrong, like with all my cars. But there's the 2J S13, which I need to put a new body harness in. That's the main thing, because it's blown up 3 2Js and bricked 3 ECUs and a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Wasn't that the same thing Shulman was doing with his JZ? Was the harness body? Well, I don't know if there's
something
body
with the harness.
Yeah.
He said there's something with the harness, but I didn't hear him
Mine's
talk about
not
bricking an
the
ECU.
motor harness, it's the body harness. So it's not pushing enough voltage to like everything. So it'll lean out and go, what's going on? And then the ECU goes, there's not a motor here, because it doesn't have enough power to get to the ECU, and kaboom. So that, and then I have the S13 Coupe, which I never talk about, and you'll have to wait for that. They already know about it. It's great. Then there's the 2013 Mustang GT Smurf, which is like my OG. Never will sell that car. 2018 Mustang GT with the 10-speed, which is my daily. That's
drove that car here.
Yeah, all the way here is no problem. And then the Dodge Magnum I did for Roadkill Nights, which is also broken. It's a Hellcat Red Eye swap Dodge Magnum wagon. And then, oh my God, I'm losing track. Then my wife has a Miata. And then then I have the K20 swap Integra. And then
I love that car.
And then a EG hatch with a K24 turbo that has nothing but problems as well. And that's about it. Yeah.
Damn.
If I can remember.
You're more into the front wheel drive game than
You know what's funny
most
is
people, especially YouTubers.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about the Honda stuff is that it's super relatable.
Yeah,
right.
because you can build one for like 10 grand.
And I went
Fully.
in reverse, right? I started with domestic stuff, and hanging out with import friends, that's a very general term, I would go, why do you build these? Because we're fixing them all the time. Next thing you know, 10 years later, I'm building one with nothing but problems. Going, what am I doing?
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's more of a passion project thing. Like when you drive like a fast EG hatch, you're like, what is it about this?
Dude.
There's something about it.
The car that got me like
And I've never
into
even owned a
cars
Honda.
was a Honda Civic 89 EF hatch, and it had a B20 swap, and it had nitrous on it.
Yeah.
And dude, that car would fucking fly, dude. That was a fast rig.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, and now I have a fucking turbo LS S13. So like, dude, I cut my teeth on Hondas. So when people like make fun of me and act like I'm a V8 elitist, I'm like, motherfucker, I done forgot more about Hondas than you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Lewis, you need to fucking come on. He's the dude that owns his own bit, the haircut and.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, dude, he's so fucking busy all the time though. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm vibing.
We do
It's all
that a
good.
lot.
Yeah,
It's okay to cut us also.
Dude, my worst habit in life is cutting people off. It's the worst because, and I know that's the worst part is like, when I have a conversation I get excited about, especially about automotive vehicles, it's like my brain goes like, I'm ready to go. And you know what's really sad?
I have a PowerPoint about this.
Right. And what's really sad
me
is
too.
the problem is that people, you could be translated into like, you just like to hear yourself talk. And I'm like, I talk to a rock for a living. I'm sorry. Like it doesn't talk back. So when you get into a social situation, you're like, okay, so in high school, I didn't talk enough, and now I talk too much.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to like keeping the conversation going.
Yeah.
So yeah, like especially with podcasts, I respect people so much with podcasts being able to restrain and listen to the other people, because that's a skill that's learned over time.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Sometimes I'm like,
he's a little bit more difficult with it. He likes to just ramble, but. I'm focused on like a million things at once
of
because
course,
I
'cause
take
you're
care of all
operating,
the technical stuff. So like I don't really have. That's why it's good to have you on next to me because sometimes I'm not able to focus on the full conversation.
You're just like, dance, monkey. Just talk. I know you can.
Oh man.
Okay, so all right, so let's go to the questions. All right, so these are some of these are from we posted on our Instagram story.
Sure.
Some of these are from people. Some of these are from us. Obviously,
Okay.
we've been fans
Sweet.
forever. So one of the questions that we got asked is, where do you see the drift community going, like as opposed to other communities? Because like I don't think it's very crazy or outlandish to say that the stance community is like on the downslope. There's not very many people doing that anymore.
So for context on that, I think the stance community, the problem with that, and you can hate me all you want, I do not care. The thing is that every stance show feels exactly the same.
Yeah, that's all.
Every
we agree. You're
single
good.
show. Like, and I will drive
We hate stance cars.
6 hours to go to
Okay,
one.
listen.
I'll go 9 hours to
do.
go to one. And then I get there going, I'm in the same convention center or the same warehouse or the same parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's the same two-step contest that goes on for 6 hours. And you're like, we get it. You put a burble tune on your car.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, and this makes me sound like such a hater, but the problem is once you've seen a few of those shows, you've checked the box.
Yeah,
you
it's
got
done.
it.
Well, I feel like back in the day, it was a lot more impressive too because the technology wasn't quite where it is now. Now, anybody with a fucking basic ass job can go and get an ECU that they can tune any which way they want. So
or a
it's
piggyback,
like,
even just to do that
too. Yeah,
and it's one of those things where I'm honestly surprised the community is still as strong
Me
as
too.
it is.
Yeah.
Because they're also, I feel like they're pretty toxic. I feel like the stance community is pretty toxic.
I never
extremely toxic.
If there's
That's why I
any
left
community I felt more of an outsider, it was that one.
Yeah.
Because every time I'd go in, I would walk by a car, and this isn't for every show. I feel like I have to put a disclaimer on everything, but God, dude, you'd walk
don't
by a
have
that much
car.
influence, dude.
No.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You'd walk by a car, and look, stance is not my thing, but I still respect people who do the body work right
too.
and
Us
all that.
too.
That's fine.
Yeah, us too.
But when somebody has like the cleanest stance car I've ever seen, and I walk by it, and some freaking dude walks by, he's like, that thing ain't even low. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
like
right.
it can't even drive.
That's what I
you
mean by
know?
the toxic thing.
It's like it's never good enough.
Yeah.
And I think transitioning to your question is that the drift community, I think, is more accessible than ever right now.
Oh, and everyone in drifting is so nice.
Especially with how many tracks are opening up to doing drifting.
And the gateway to entry it's a different mentality, because I feel like when you're in a car show, you're competing against people just for a parking spot. And so you get really upset if you don't get the showcase, right? Yeah. With drifting, if you show up in a shit box with angle on it, people go, what can I help you with? How can I get you to do a figure 8? How can we get you to that point and move forward? And
I want to tandem with you. Hurry up.
Yeah, like exactly. Like, hey, when are we going to tandem? When are we going to do this? I'll stay far behind just to get you used to other cars. Yeah. Also, the fact that drift events are getting cheaper overall, like accessibility wise. You used to have to drive 6 hours to go to a drift event. Now most cities, major cities, have somewhere to go.
Yeah,
and
I'll have to disagree on getting cheaper. They're getting
at
more
least
expensive.
In Georgia.
At least in Georgia. Yeah. Here they're all like, they just keep rising every fucking month. It feels like. But there are more tracks expanding, so it's kind of like it
give or take
itself out.
Yeah, so that is out of ignorance of other states as local communities, to be clear. But I'm just so in the Atlanta community right now. It's $100 for like 7 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is
like,
that's
it's
about
amazing.
average right now.
And but if you were to try to do that in 2012, like no. Like, that's probably not going to happen. It was like in Virginia anyway, it was like a once a year thing.
Yeah.
And you were lucky if you got that. But to end your question, I'll go on all day. To end your question, as when it comes to people themselves, it's less toxic. And I think it's a more open-minded community. Plus, I'm going to say it gets more takeover kids off the street.
Yeah, I agree.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because the issue with that, to me, is like, of course, it's just ignorant and dumb to go do that. But the thing is, nobody's telling them they got a place to go. You know what I mean? Like, from the other side of things, like if you grew up in that neighborhood and people are like, this is it's the only way you can go hoon in your car right now. It's 50-50, because I've gotten in debates with people who go to these things. And most of them don't even know about the track and that it's so cheap to go.
You don't think that that's like weaponized incompetence, though? Everybody's got Instagram.
Oh, no. No, it's not. The thing is I do not make any exceptions for people who go do that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But
I honestly, like,
even if you follow one simple thing about cars on social media, it's bound to pop up at some point.
I'm not saying, I'm not trying to like trump your point. I was just saying, like, I whenever I hear people say stuff like that, they're like, well, you know, this is the only way.
Oh, no.
I've seen people say that. Like, we're just like you. We just don't want to spend the money.
Absolutely, and I'm like, not. That's not true.
Yeah.
It's not. That is not what I mean. What I mean is it's about 50-50 for me. So I talked to one kid at a skate park one time. I was skating, having a great day. This kid comes up to me and goes, how come I never seen you at Takeovers? I'm like, cause they're dumb. Like, and I started getting in this heated debate with this kid. And I'm like, why don't you go to the track? He's like, it's too expensive. And I'm like, have you ever had a lawyer? You know, and we start going down the list.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, man, it's not like that. And no matter what you said, it didn't matter. You know, he was like, I'm going to go back. Yeah. He got arrested 2 weeks later. No, like, for real, true story. True story.
Gotcha, bitch.
So that's my point, is like, it's a little bit of like what was so interesting about talking to somebody like that was they're just like, nah, this is way better. Like, it's better than going to the track. And he's like,
better.
But why? Like, I'm like, it's like watching paint dry. You know, like just
Okay, so I got a good question for you then, because I assume you know Chris Fix.
Yeah.
So he's like making kids books now to get people into cars from a younger age.
Yeah, I learned about that
What a
yesterday.
fucking legend.
From do what?
So what a legend.
Oh, I know, dude. That was awesome. But from an influencer standpoint, what have you ever like tried to think of some ways that could move people from going to takeover stuff back to actual normal car community shit? I don't know how that would how you would even be able to do it, but
it's a conundrum. Right. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, here's how to change your tire. Here's not like how not to go do a donut in an intersection. You know, like there's no even reference point to it. 90% of the time, we all know for a fact it's for the attention. Yeah. That's all that's it. So if you don't.
And every single time it's in a fucking charger too. That's not even manual.
Yeah, no, I think the most bizarre thing I've ever witnessed was when we had some of the takeover kids come to the track in Linear. And
I bet that was weird.
It was like a really interesting day. And there was one event called Take It to the Track where it was like a legal pit or whatever. I didn't go to that. Sorry. But there was another day where it was like a Friday night drift.
Yeah.
And they came and one guy, they couldn't connect the course because obviously.
Yeah, because they don't know.
But seeing somebody in a non-manual charger connect the bank to like the entire course, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Like there was a few people going, yo, what are you doing out there?
Yeah,
you could be doing amazing things here.
Yeah. That's one of those moments that we speak on. It's like, you don't have to like the build, but goddamn, you kind of respect it for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. That's all I want. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Forrest Gump style.
So how long have you actually been on YouTube? I know you had another channel. I didn't actually follow that channel.
2007. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
How old were you at the time?
I was right,
when
dude.
You started?
So it might have been 06, but I didn't have any viewership till 07. So that's how I remember it. I was 16. Yeah. Freshman year of high school.
Oh, shit.
On a Sony Handycam.
I feel like a lot of the guys that are a lot bigger now in the millions and stuff like that, they started around 15, 16.
Yeah.
Shooting random shit.
Yeah. No, my channel was, the older channel was me teaching myself how to do special effects. So like Adobe After Effects and stuff like that. Because I watched this video called Ryan versus Dorkman. And it was a lightsaber fight. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever that these amateur filmmakers did this amazing lightsaber fight that was like just as good as the movies.
Yeah.
And they coordinated it. They ended up going on to do pretty cool things, but I was like, I want to learn how to do that. And so about 2 years later or so, I did my own, and in 2007, it got like 30,000 views, and that was a big deal.
That's a lot.
That was a big deal back then.
For sure.
Yeah, but it took me 3 months to edit it.
I want to stop the podcast for a second and thank Canva for sponsoring this video. If you do not know what Canva is, it is an online editing tool for videos, photos, presentations, thumbnails, all sorts of things that is completely for free. Whether you're an influencer trying to make thumbnails and cover art, or you're a business owner trying to make business cards or any type of flyer, or maybe you're someone that just wants to mess around on an editing platform that is not one of these scary and frightening editing softwares like Premiere Pro or Photoshop. Canva makes it super easy and super simple as far as the layout and all of the features that come along with it. I personally use it for all of our thumbnails on the podcast along with my personal account. So if you want to support the podcast, use our link down below in the description and sign up for Canva today. Now let's get back to the podcast. All right, so then what were some differences, like major differences between back then and YouTube now? Like was it actually a lot technically easier to get a little bit more viewership and subscribers?
Okay, so I think
see people on YouTube talk about that, and I'm like, I don't know about it.
The easiest time, in my opinion, was 2015, like that general area.
Why though?
Because 2010 through 2012, not enough people were watching YouTube. So like the top, I'm talking like 2008 or so. I might butcher this, but like, you ever heard of Smosh? Like Smosh was the number one subscribed YouTube channel, and they were like 100K. Like it like the sense of scale just wasn't there yet. Yeah. And YouTube was cat videos and DIY videos.
Oh yeah, I remember you'd see people on Facebook. I got stuck in the YouTube rabbit hole again, or you just watch a random 20-second clip of some fucking cat doing the cutest shit or whatever, and then you move on to watching them on logs. And so, sorry to cut you off. I did it already.
But for example, it took me 3 years to get 1,000 subscribers, right? Like people don't remember that part, right? And how difficult it was back then. And then 2015 is when it was a dangerous time to be a YouTuber because it was when they really encouraged like daily uploading. So like 2015 through 17, you were on a treadmill that was never going to stop. And so you had to have this self-discipline of, okay,
it's a job.
When do I take a day off?
Yeah.
Can I?
Did they already have like good revenue and stuff at that point?
Yeah. So the revenue, like I remember it took me 6 months after. Okay, so back then, for context, you had to physically apply to be part of the partner program, and I got denied twice. on That Dude in Blue before I had like 1,000 subscribers.
Why'd they deny you?
Because I wasn't uploading enough, basically. So like back then it was an experiment. It was an experiment. The partner program.
They were really trying to figure shit out.
Oh yeah, they were, because there was like Philip DeFranco and like Ray William Johnson and those guys. They were like the only partners at the time. There was like maybe 50 to 100. And so I kept applying and I kept uploading, kept applying, kept uploading. Finally, I got it. And the rules are still the same to this day. You don't get paid until you make like $100.
Yeah.
Well, 6 months after getting the partner program, they sent me a physical check in the mail that was this big. And it was $100. Yeah. And I remember going to the bank and being so proud of myself.
Hell yeah.
And walking in, and they're like, "This isn't a real check." I'm like, "No, you don't understand."
Yeah.
You're like, I was like, "I worked 6 months for this." They're like, "Yeah, it looked like a Scantron, like from school.
Yeah.
It looks super fake." But then literally the next month, that's when they went to direct deposit and all that.
Yeah.
So that was not a problem anymore.
Okay, so you made a video one time that was about when I guess the requirements for monetization switched over from whatever to 4,000 watch hours or something. Didn't you make that video?
Yeah, so
you're like the only like automotive YouTuber that has made a video on how to be technically an automotive YouTuber.
Yeah, I made 2 or 3 of those over the years because just things change. But yeah, it was more... they went to watch time. That was the big switch.
That's freaking, because that was when I was like looking to get into YouTube and wanted to kind of like pursue it.
Sure.
And I saw that video and I was like, oh, fuck. It kind of crushed my hopes a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, watch time was a big, big thing because that's also when the daily uploads are at their full swing. Because guess what? You're racking up that watch time, which means you're getting fed to the algorithm, and now the algorithm likes you, and now you're going to be on the recommended page for literally killing yourself, because I was in China in 2016 with Roman Atwood, that vlogger, and he had been daily uploading for I think 3 years straight, and I just feeling empathy. You know what I mean? Going like, I don't know this guy. I don't, but he looks tired. Yeah. But he was very good at his job.
He has a podcast. And so I watched some of the podcast. He did Cletus and Whistling Diesel, and I watched those. And he talks about it in there. He's like, dude, to be a YouTube person, which is funny to me because you getting denied to be in the YouTube partnership program and like now that I have the context is so weird. You're like an OG YouTube titan, and it's like, I don't know. It's just fucking weird. Anyway, so I watched Roman Atwood, and one of the things that like resonated with me is he's like, dude, people who like grind on YouTube, he's like, dude, they're just treadmill people, man. They're just like, they could get off the treadmill and go home and do whatever, but they just stay on that motherfucker and run just to do it.
Love it.
Yeah, man. So that's pretty crazy. That's a wild story. I didn't know that.
It's nuts stuff.
Well, why did you choose to kind of get into the whole car review side of things on YouTube?
I know this sounds like, I don't know. It sounds kind of arrogant, but it's like, I know I could do it. It was like one of those things where I would watch Motor Trend. I'd watch Edmunds.com. I'd watch all these and go, yo, I can make these way more fun. Like, how do I make it fun? And in June...
That's how this started.
June or July of 2012, I got Smurf. And I was going to get Smurf, excuse me. And I had this black Mustang. I had a 06 3-valve at the time. And I just for practice, this wasn't supposed to be a thing. Yeah. That's when I ordered the gear, did all this. I was like, let me just try to do this. So for practice, I did it. And I said, hey, this is part 1. I'm about to trade this in for another one, for the new car, and do a comparison. And literally the video to this day is 2016 Mustang GT review part 1. It's like the worst
basic title.
Yeah, well, no, but it's in lowercase. You're like, whoa. And but it's 21-year-old David standing in front of this 3-valve going like retro or modern, like what's better? And I get in and I'm overly professional. So like I'm trying to sound kind of smart. I'm trying to be very like not monotone, but just very like just unnatural. Yeah. Right. But
what's your first one?
Right. I had notes in my seat on the right of me to like, hey, stay on topic, get it done. The video's like 4 minutes long or something. And it's super overexposed. The video footage looked like crap. But over time I learned, and then about 4 days later, I remember I was so scared of that black car being ruined because that was my down payment for Smurf. You know what I mean? So I would be a hermit for weeks. Like, I'm not going anywhere in case somebody hits me or something. So I stayed home. I trade in the car. And then I come back home. The first thing I do is I put it on ramps and I put Roush axle back on it. And just to make it sound a little bit better.
Hell yeah.
And then literally get it off the ramps, get in the car and review that car and then upload that one. And so I was like, okay, I'm getting a little bit better. And then that video got like 30,000 views. Like in 2 weeks, which was different back then, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
a lot.
That was
back
gold.
yeah, and I
back
was
then.
like, wait. I was like, why am I not doing this?
Yeah.
And
Just found
I
your knack
thankfully
for it.
I'd had already 2 or 3 years of hardcore going to car meets every weekend, right? In Virginia Beach and street racing and all that. And so I would go there. I would literally, I got plenty of stories on that.
You don't have to do that though. You could just,
you know what I mean?
We
You
can
know what I
leave
mean?
here and go hit some corners like right now.
I know. But the thing is about back
podcast.
then, the cool thing is about back then is when I would go to these meets, I would go there to learn. So like I would go, I remember these dudes sitting next to an EF hatch and I heard them going B series, K series, whatever. I'm like, what alphabet are they speaking? You know? And so I go up to them and I'm like, hey, I'm really numb to all this. Can you walk me through what these letters and numbers mean? And they go, oh, yeah, totally. And that kind of moment made me love car culture. Because if I were to ask a question like that anywhere else in my life, like high school, whatever, you're
that's
just
actually
stupid.
great to
You're
touch
just
on.
stupid.
Yeah, because I'm kind of like you. I didn't have a family background in cars or anything like that. But I was always too scared to ask.
Right.
I was one of those guys that like, I would much rather spend 24, 30, whatever hours trying to figure it out myself rather than just ask somebody that was right next to me and figure it out in 5 seconds.
Right.
So sorry, I just had to add that in there.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You're going to get
that's something
turned
I
out
know
by
a
some
lot of people do
but
that too.
Most don't. I mean, it was at a little tiny diner. You know, this car meet was at this little, in a strip mall. It wasn't even like the diner in your brain.
It's like
it was
those
in
Sunday
a strip
Sonic
mall, next to like a big Rite Aid, you know, and I'd go there.
They're always my
Yeah,
roommates.
yeah, they are. And so every Friday and Saturday night, every single time for like 3 years I was there.
So what's the best starting car for someone that wants to like get into cars? What would you say the best starter car would be? I would tell someone to get a Civic. That's probably what I would tell somebody.
Civic's definitely up there. I mean, the stereotypical one's Miata, right?
Yeah, Miata.
Because it's 50-50 weight distribution.
Kind of
They're
hard
really,
now. They're so expensive.
That's so disappointing.
I
Like
know.
it really is because they're not that. They shouldn't be that much money. And like a good, especially like people sleep on the NB Miata. That engine's great. You know, the VVT one is really great. It has more of a
That was the one
punch.
after the pop-ups, right?
Yes.
That's the body style that I like the most.
Yeah.
Which
So
is-
that
everyone
motor,
hates me for that, but
that motor just feels like it's like a Mazda's version of like VTEC, basically. It just has that nice dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miatas, man, like if you had wheel, tire, suspension, and you go up to the mountains, you're gonna have a great time. You know, and is overall like you didn't have to turbo it or anything to have fun, but yeah, it used to be Miata. Civic's still great because you usually have to fix something on something that old.
And you can still get Civic parts pretty cheap. It's
Yeah.
more than
Oh,
it used
yeah.
to be, but you know, back in the day, the reason I like Civics is you could like build, paint, and have one done, like finished for like $5,000.
Yep,
you know?
and be all good.
Yeah, dude. And it was like a flex car for $5,000, you know? And so I would tell
the average income back then though was a lot less as well. So it's kind of, if you think about it, it's relatively the same for Hondas.
I don't know. I've seen some prices on some old like Generation 2 Skunk 2 manifolds, and dude, they want like $800.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
there are
you
some
used to could buy that for like
morons like
$250, you know? Like, it's crazy. So, I don't know. I would tell someone to get a Civic just because once you get a Civic, you know, I would say if you want to get into drifting, then I would say Mustang, E36,
Yep.
350Z, something
Yep.
like that. But it's a little bit more money. For someone who just wants to
Yeah.
learn about cars, I'd say probably a Civic or a
Yeah.
Miata if you can get your hands on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I probably would have said Mustang a while ago, but now the Coyote motor is such a beast. I'd be like, not for a first car. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Like, no 16-year-old needs that.
We don't normally suggest the Coyote just because nowadays, if you did blow one and you had to buy another one, they're fucking ungodly expensive now. So,
but if you do blow one, you did something wrong. Because Smurf has 117,000 miles on it with 710 wheel horsepower. It's a bone stock engine.
Dude, did you see Cletus McFarland's regular cab short bag truck? Mm-mm. Dude, it made like 780 or something like that.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
I don't know what I probably got that
Yeah.
wrong. Dude, it's just a blower truck. It's fucking nothing else. It's just got a blower on top of it. I think it almost made 800 on ethanol. And they turned it back down.
Gnarly.
Oh, dude, it's fucking crazy, dude.
The white car is on pump. It's on 93.
So, okay.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have? Can you put ethanol in it, or you don't have? You do. You can.
So that factory ECU, all you have to do is unlock it. You can just put ethanol in it. And you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. One of the things I'm planning on doing to my car is putting a flex.
When did that
sensor.
start? Actually,
2018 plus.
2018.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the thing about that is you have to have an E85 tune, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so funny. I went down to VMP Performance one day and we did an intake manifold and a cold air. And on pump, it made 475 wheel. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. So it's like 500 crank horsepower. And then after that, we did the ethanol tune. And I was like, so like, do I need to like pull over and like re-flash it? And everybody's like, no, just put it in.
Flex fuel sensor.
I'm like, what?
That's
it was
crazy.
just so bananas, man.
And I've never been the biggest fan of Fords, but I will
Which is
say
fair.
they are like, they're keeping the car industry alive.
Yeah, I'm
I
more
feel
like so many people.
Or at
just-
least car guys.
I understand why people see me as the Mustang guy, but the thing is I'm almost more of a fanboy of the engine. Like the Coyote engine is just so rad to me because personal experience.
Sure.
You know, like all my other cars, this is nothing but problems.
Did you have to change the oil ring? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the pump gear?
Yeah.
So on the white car, I did it as a precaution, but Smurf still has the factory one.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what would you say is the biggest problem in the car community today?
It's the social media, right? And I mean, for the most part. And I sound like a hypocrite because my job is social media.
Right.
But I tell people all the time,
feed the
like,
problem.
Yeah, but I tell people all the time, like, just make sure you don't stay on it all day. Like, almost give yourself a time limit. You know what I mean? Because there's a great.
Which that sucks because you're technically telling people don't watch this shit, and then you're losing.
Yeah. So the way I
revenue and
like to
shit.
put it is like there's a great saying. I'm going to butcher it, but it's comparison is the enemy of happiness. And if you go on Instagram, for example, and you see somebody at a photo at a super cool place, and you don't have the mental training to know that's bullcrap, that's fake. You know, like that's not real. They probably paid to be on that yacht. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I'll never
Don't post your ugliest picture on Instagram.
No, it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people need to understand that when you post that, this is beating a dead horse. Most people know this now, but some people just need to be told it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, and
internet is fake. It's fake.
I feel like too many
not real.
people are living like truly living
Vicariously.
through social media, and that's the only way they know how to live now. And that it's ruining your fucking brains. I swear to God.
Well, I think the hardest thing for me is, okay, it's not hard, but the weird thing is I was born in 1990, right? And think about it. We are the last
90s baby.
kids.
I barely made the
We're the
cut.
last kids, though. Like, I remember the first time logging onto the internet, you know, like ever.
Dude, yeah.
Ever. And the dial-up. But the
got
thing
mail.
is like it was such a novelty back then. It didn't run your life,
Right.
You know, like it was more of like something you'd come home from school and be like, I'm going to get on AIM or AOL Instant Messenger and
I'm gonna
chit
get
chat.
Yeah, it was just so new. It was
Like
Yeah.
getting on LimeWire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great
My
job.
parents run. Well, they have a couple different companies, but my parents used to run an import-export business,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of the things that they would do is they had to send faxes off. You couldn't be on the internet if my parents used the fax
Oh,
machine.
yeah, sure.
Dude. So
yeah.
you'd come home, you know, not knowing, and you'd click it on, and you'd stop their fax, and dude, my dad would flip the
Oh,
fuck
my
out,
God.
and I was like,
Dude.
I'm like little, I don't understand, you know, I'm like, what? It's just making noise, you know. He's like, go to your room and play Super Smash Brothers or whatever.
But I think, but going to my point, it's like, this kind of goes with any kind of subcultures is like, I can't imagine a life where I've been on my smartphone since I've been little, you know, because you just don't know any other way. And that's not lecturing kids of the generation under us, but there's also a way to live without it completely. You know, like I think it's great. The world is awesome with the internet. Like it's
better
the best.
for it for sure.
It is. No, the world's better with the internet. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, the depression rate's up high. Everything else is up high because of it. And I'm
comparison is just killing everyone.
You got a rule in your house where you like put your phone down for a certain amount of time? Do you actually? I knew it.
That's good.
Oh no! Like if I get an alert for screen time, I'm like, nope. Like I gotta like slow down.
Every time I see that notification, I stress the fuck out because I'm constantly on.
Really?
So yeah, I'm studying YouTube 24/7.
What's your screen time?
Oh God. It's probably nowhere near as much as you. You spend too much time in the comment section. So
what's yours?
Anyway.
I don't even know. I mean, the most screen time I get is in airports because I flew.
Oh yeah, you fly a lot.
I flew 165,000 miles this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're sitting there waiting for your gate to be called, you're going to be.
Yeah, on your phone.
Yeah.
But in this line of work, you're kind of like, that's work too
stops.
at the same time. So you're not necessarily
emails
just
and
fucking
all that.
off.
Okay, I have one. So do you think that answering comments is important for growth?
Yes and no. So it's half and half. So I think, okay, here's my golden rule is you read the comments for the first 30 minutes to an hour and then you stop. Because this is my theory, and it helped my mental health like crazy by having this rule, was the first 30 minutes to an hour are going to be your most loyal viewers, right? They're going to tell you exactly what they think.
Very true.
They're going to tell you, I wasn't really feeling this one, or they're going to give you advice of what they like. And it's usually going to be constructive criticism. It's usually not going to be like, this is dumb, right? Well, give me a reason.
Yeah.
Like, tell me why. But then after that first hour, that algorithm's kicking in and it's getting to people who don't watch you regularly. So you have people come in and just be an asshole. And that's going to affect your mental health because you're going to be like, oh God, do I suck?
Luckily, we have a good grasp on that.
Right.
Like I don't necessarily look at the comments as much.
I read them all.
Yeah, he's like, he handles the comments. I handle like the technical side of it.
I'll be honest though, I like that part. I like interacting with the fans. I think it's funny.
So for me, I used to answer every single comment. Like for the first 5 or 6 years, I think but over time, it was one of those things where I do read most of them. I read most of them for probably the first hour or two, but that golden rule I tell people is mostly for new people. Like if they're starting a YouTube channel, because people, I mean, if you don't have that skin built up, it'll drive you nuts.
Cletus says until you get to 100,000, you don't have people going in there saying, "Hey, man, don't fucking talk to them like that." You don't have like someone
self-policing.
Yeah. So we've
kind of gained that though.
Yeah, we kind of. That's what I was saying.
The following we have people that'll go in there and they'll just start fucking wailing on people just because they're talking shit to us.
Yeah, and
shout out to you guys too.
Yeah, you guys are the shit. I kind of like that. I like watching people get dunked on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little fucked up. All right.
But at the same time, like, there's also that saying where if you get any sort of hate thrown your way, you're probably doing something right.
Right.
And that was a big thing for me in the first year in like 2012 to 13. I would share my videos to local forums and they would shred me. Yeah. Like that is the gnarliest hate comments I've ever gotten in my life.
I think stuff like that gets to you a little bit more than just random comments on a video.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Like you're putting the effort to share your content with somebody, a whole nother area of people.
Yeah. They're locals you will run into. And so that's
that's a whole nother
intimidation
and thing. Shit. But all right, so back on the community thing. So what part of the community back then do you miss the most that you wish still stuck around until today?
I think it's the idea of, did I grow out of going to nighttime car meets or was it the people, right? And it's this weird half and half because when I would go to these nighttime car meets, we didn't have to worry about people doing dumb shit in the parking lot. Yeah. We didn't have to worry about any of that. And if you did do shenanigans, it was a private matter. So if even street drifting, you'd go like 30, 40 minutes out somewhere random in the middle of nowhere where nobody would even know you existed, And so I think that's the major difference is I miss looking forward to those Friday or Saturday nights.
I really miss that shit.
That's the number one thing. Everything else is pretty good. It's pretty great. I'm really happy with where I am in the car car scene, car culture thing. But yeah, the nighttime car meets and the quality of people and the education aspect. Like now when I go to nighttime car meets, it's much, at least this is the vibe I get, the first impression I get, it's a show off game.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of empathize with people who feel like that's how it's always been, but it hasn't.
I feel like everyone's just standing around judging everyone nowadays.
It's always been so kind of clicky, but usually one clique would start to merge with another.
Yeah, there was always a
clique.
little bit more respect there. And I remember those days like vividly. I would look forward to, and just you would always be searching Facebook. Oh, when's the next meet? Where's the next meet? Because one would get shut down, and then you got to move to another parking lot or whatever. And, dude, it was just the best conversation. You sat around and just stared at cool ass cars. And now it's just like, oh, my camera is better than yours. Fuck you, bro. Nobody cares about that. Just admire our cars.
Yeah.
Just have a good time.
The one that always made me mad was the real versus reps thing.
Oh, yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
I've never, like, dude, I, like, respect that you spent $15,000 on a set of Blitz.
That hurts my head, dude.
You know? Yeah, like, I don't get it. But I'm saying, like, I understand what you're doing. But then you come to a meet and think that because my car is on reps, dude, it's a dedicated drift car. And people make fun of the stance on my car. I'm like, dude, I fucking street that car like 4 or 5 times a week. It's a dedicated drift car. That's what I do with it. And they'll like hate on me because I have what are they? They're out of hand ones, but they're like I make fun of them because Avid ones. I'm sorry.
Ones, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But they look like
those are the first wheels I ever bought.
They look
myself,
like TE37s, right?
Yeah.
So I call them TE37s.
Oh, yeah. It's a good joke.
Like to make fun of them. And dude, they'll be like,
Gotcha, bitch.
They'll tag that thing on Facebook. It's like this dude on reps, y'all. You know what I'm saying, though.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Can't say that word. But so, yeah, anyways, I always thought that was like the weirdest thing. And that's why I never really got into the whole going to a car meet thing, because it's like people are going to go there and then make fun of me because I bought a certain set of wheels so that I could afford to go turbo instead of being NA, but on a set of Blitz. Like, what the fuck? You know?
I have a confession about the first time I saw a stance car. I thought it was broken.
Dude,
yes.
right. Yes.
I was at a place called Freedom Wash. It was a car wash in Virginia Beach on Independence Boulevard. And it was that's where I went to my first nighttime car meet, was this car wash. And because the skate park was right here, and I would go there 3 times a week. And then the car wash was here, and some guy told me about it, and I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, Fast and Furious is real. It's so cool. And I would go every weekend. But long story short, there's an IS300 that in retrospect, it was really clean. But he was sitting there washing his car, and the way it was sitting, and I was just like, why is it like that? Is the axle broken or something? You know, I didn't know. Yeah. And he was like, nah, man, it's stance. I'm like, what? And it was like hearing a window shatter. Like, what do you mean? And then I had to get that all explained to me. The guy was from Southern California, stationed there. So that influence was coming in. But seeing that, yeah, I felt so dumb. Yeah, after that, going, it's like a thing.
Dude, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
The first time I saw a car that had some major camber and shit, it was Dix in the Avenue.
Yeah,
in Murfreesboro.
My brother
it was just like Civic EF, I think it was, and it had some like CCWs on it. It wasn't like the coolest car ever. Do what?
I love CCW.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
That's so cool.
But I was like, so confused, and like I'm sitting next to my mom, so I'm not like, what is that? What do they do? What is So as soon as I got home, I jumped on the computer. What the fuck?
So
tilting your wheels. What is that?
But going back to your point about not going to nighttime car meets because of reps, I just had like a core memory moment where in the car meets that I went to, that was never important.
Yeah.
Like everybody was, so I think I was blessed because everybody at the car meet I chose to go to, except that literally like 1 or 2 stance cars that would show up, was all about going fast.
Yeah.
So like it didn't matter as long as you had a good tire on the car. That was the more important thing. It's like, cool, man. You wouldn't even look at the wheels half the time.
Like, does it look like? I would say that there are some real wheels that are ugly.
Oh yeah, of course there are. Money doesn't buy taste. We've all learned that over the years, you know. And like, just because you dump $50,000 into a car doesn't mean your VIP car looks good. You know, it's like.
The first wheels I bought from my Mazda were the Avid ones that were the reps of the like the spider web version of the rotiforms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Those are cool.
I had those, dude. Every single meet I went to, I would have at least 5 people come up to me and say, rotiforms? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it saved you. It saved you the conversation.
Like, I'm not even going to talk about it.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
So you can't read the fucking center cap that says Avid 1, you moron.
Yeah,
I
always just tell everybody they're Teehee 37s. And then they're like, why'd you do black? Dude, the whole black wheel thing.
So you know what's so funny?
I hate black wheels. Sorry.
But here's what's funny. In 2012, I wanted black wheels.
Dude, black wheels used to be the thing.
It was the ricer
It was-
thing. As
it
soon
was
as you
a
got in
thing.
the cars, you're like, black wheel.
And I remember going into Photoshop on Smurf and having like a brushed aluminum and then a black wheel, and I was like, which one do I like better? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, black wheel, cool. And then I think that car, it did work at the time because of the bright grabber blue, have that contrast. But but later down the road, I became much more of like a brushed aluminum guy. Like I like it.
Yeah,
more.
like what is the color of the BMW? That BMW blue that's kind of the same.
Laguna Seca blue.
Laguna Seca blue.
Yes, okay. So that looks really good with a brushed silver wheel.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the concept I go off of for that.
So
the black wheels they look
I just
tacky,
did black
especially if it's
because,
matte
like,
color.
dude, growing up, if you had somebody that was like low key a fast guy,
They'd have black wheels.
always had black
100%.
wheels, you know?
Especially like I would skate at the skate park in Virginia, and this dude would show up in an EM1 Civic, like stereotypical blue EM1 SI.
dude, I was just about to mention my brother. My brother is like a OG stance, like legend guy.
Yeah.
He has 2 cars and magazines. He's like,
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, he's like he built Civics like the way that you guys probably like.
The way he
Civics.
builds cars is elaborate.
He is
Sure.
very.
leave it that way.
He's not like me. Let's put it like
Okay.
that. You could see the headlights on my car had rust on them.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
He's not like that. So, anyways, I know what you're talking about those cars. I just wanted to point that out. It's like Josh's
Sweet.
cars are crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask this my personal self.
Oh,
So since
ready?
you are such a huge influencer,
Well, thank you.
well, you're welcome. But why do you kind of shy away from all the main YouTuber activities, like the LZ stuff, the Jimmy Oaks, and like, because I feel like you're not included in as many of those events, I guess.
Is it
Well-
because they're dicks?
No. Don't take this the wrong way. I swear to God. I'm not invited.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. I'm really good friends with Adam. He's a great dude.
We're just kidding.
Yeah, I know. But
Dude,
still.
you know what? This is something
We kind of
weird.
think he hates us a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think he doesn't like us. We made a video that was comparing how successful he is at clutch kickers, but not in FD.
Sure.
And dude, it went super hyper viral. Like
It won't stop.
It won't stop.
It's
It keeps
still
going.
Okay.
Okay, so we've reached out, and almost every person that we've talked to will at least answer us. Well, now whether or not they're willing to come down to Tennessee to shoot a podcast or
Yeah.
have us fly up that's
Sure.
whatever. But he's the only one that hasn't answered us. Now he's like, that's the dude, So maybe he's super busy, but I find it kind of strange that he hasn't said anything to us.
I wouldn't take it personally.
We're not. We're just.
Yeah.
We're just
No,
saying
we
it's
don't
a
at
little,
all,
Yeah,
but-
no. I'm just saying it's a little weird.
Yeah, I try to hang out with him at least once a year because it's just kind of cool to see how he's doing. And it's just like the first time I saw the compound was this year, right? And
Is it huge?
it's so crazy. Like I remember going there and
head around.
I literally was like, this is insane. Like I just couldn't believe the scale of everything. And it made perfect sense with Drift HQ. Like that makes
For sure,
sense.
for
You know,
sure.
like if it
wasn't for Drift
if
HQ,
it wasn't
I don't
for
think
that,
he
I'd be
would have
like
been able to
Adam.
even
I'd be like,
accomplish
yo.
it.
But no, seems really happy. He's killing it. He's doing great. And I remember the rumors of him being the next RTR driver. I was like, that's a good move. You know what I mean? Just publicity wise,
It was a really
and everything.
smart move.
There's all these people saying like RTR doesn't need Adam. Like people will get in there and like okay. I don't know if we've explained this to you, but like the way we clip our reels
Sure.
is super controversial. Like we do it on purpose to get views so that we can
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so if you actually watch the actual podcast, like we're like, I was telling him earlier, I found a random Adam LZ t-shirt in my closet. I don't know where it came from, but I guess I bought it at some point.
Sure.
So we're fans. But like if you watch the reels, it looks like we don't like Adam. But if you watch the podcast, it's like we're fanboys.
You have more context, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's okay. So, but he's not going to watch the podcast because he's super busy, right? So, so we just assume he doesn't like us. So that was just something I was curious about. Do you guys think that he's going to start his own series?
I could see it.
I think the LZ Invitational will turn into an entire, because what he originally wanted to do was build his own like racing program, but now that he's with RTR, he's transferring focus to the Invitationals, which will eventually grow into.
You think so?
I think it'll end up being like a Clutch Kickers style event.
I think so
he'll
too.
be doing, because he'll be making so much money and have so much influence. He'll be able to bring as many people as he wants. Way more people than Clutch Kickers could ever grab.
Yeah.
So the audience will be 10 times bigger, and so he'll actually be able to make the funds to give out that big of a prize. Mm-hmm. I think that's
he's the one.
That's why I said this Clutch Kicker stuff. I don't think they will last because genuinely they can't handle the money that they are shelling out. They're not making as much production. They're not having but other once they moved to Freedom Factory, dude, I swear to God, their social media just died. As soon when they first started, their social media was popping off every fucking day. They were the like top notch videos. They were insane. And then once the Holt, Florida track went away, the social media was done. They cut a lot of cost to their media aspect, and it wasn't able to keep growing, and they were just sustaining until they were able to do what they're doing now, which is stop.
Side note, shout out to Garrett for defending his track right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good for him. Yeah, we saw that. I sent him I sent a couple. I got a couple emails, you know.
Yeah, another very, very, very smart YouTube businessman.
For sure, dude.
He's a fucking genius.
Yeah, he's a gangster for sure.
And another one that does just like iPhone vlogs.
The first time I ever did YouTube videos with Garrett, I was like, I'm doing this all wrong. Like, because he had a GoPro and a stick, and I'm like, oh my God.
Like, you see this shit? I got a whole fucking room designated to this shit, and
Cletus
he's like
saying stuff like, "You need to grow a mullet."
I have a Walmart tripod and a phone.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it works for him. Yeah, you know, it's like I just remember being there, and we were like, man, he's like really owning this character, you know. Yeah. And then later down the road, we're like, yeah, this was so smart. Like we felt it coming. And the moment we saw him filming in his style when we did the beater car road trip the second year, he was a part of it. It was me, Freddie, and him, and Cooper, actually. And they were just, super chill. They bought way too nice of a car. It wasn't even fair. Guess what it was? A Crown Vic.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like pristine Crown Vic.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. And then I just remember him, just walking around like this and being like, oh my God, like I plan all my shots and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But that really was the transition in YouTube during that era where people's interest in quality wasn't as high. Because at the beginning of YouTube, to get noticed at all, you had to have high quality.
To have like night ride quality.
Yeah. But now it's like, are they funny? Are they nice? Do I like their vibe? Like that's it.
I feel like I feel like there's two types of people. So like I feel like he cares, not cares, but I feel like he thinks more about like how did he think of that shot? How did he set it up?
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. Like I just want to see the car turn the earth backwards. And so I'm just like I don't care if it's a grainy ass video. I'm just like, dude, that car's badass. You know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like so there's two different types of viewers or whatever.
I always tried to meet in the middle. Like give a crap enough to where it looks nice, and then just guerrilla film the whole thing now.
Yeah, I kind of go off of a little bit more. I try to keep it a professional look, but a lot of the like jokes and stuff and the fuck you, I don't give a shit aspect, I try and play that in because I'm very strategic and stuff, but I like a little bit of professionalism. It's the world we live in. It's the game we play, baby.
That's right.
Okay, let's do the reviews. Okay, so this dude literally...
We have a professional reviewer.
Yeah. So his reviews. So they're 1 through 10. Okay. And since we're not doing a subscriber hate, you can rate them 1, and that'll be your hate for the day. All right. All right. So this guy, Joe Zamuda. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry.
Joe Z.
Yeah, Joe Z. I
there
like
you
that.
go.
Y'all are getting better with the email submissions.
Yeah. The email ones are good. Okay, so he has an Evo, and I don't remember him sending in. I'm sure he did, but this is what it looks like. And dude, it's fucking cool. And that's a cool shot. I like the.
Oh, I like the leaves.
Yeah, the leaves. That's cool.
Autumn, like fall photos with cars.
Oh yeah.
Especially up here, Tennessee. Can't
Fall and
imagine.
snow. Those are
Snow.
the
Yeah,
fucking
snow is
money
like.
shots.
Yeah.
The snow just makes the lighting 10 times better. I'm gonna give that a 9. I don't like the whole basic black and white vibe. I think it's kind of cheesy for an Evo.
I like the front. I like the splitter. I like the canards. All that stuff. Evos
I've
with
been a big canard guy.
It depends on the. I don't know. I like for me, it's the color. It all depends on like the color scheme.
That's fair. That's
but
fair.
I think you know what it is. It's my lizard brain from freaking 2012. All my white Evo friends had canards. Every
Yeah.
single one.
Dude, I love canards.
I can't stop looking at the 32 in the back. So that's my problem.
People don't know that I drive a Skyline. You know, the guy at the party in the corner.
Oh, this is the big. All right, hold on. So you might have to give him an extra point for this. What did you say? 9?
Yeah.
Okay, he has his own active arrow.
Oh, 10.
Fuck.
Just for the pain in the.
You'll get a 10
pain
for that
in
one.
the
That's
butt.
pretty hard.
One's
The-
bitch?
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, the R and D
That's
of
Gotcha, bitch.
yourself, and also the self hatred to get
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah.
So he sent a video of it doing the thing. I forgot about it because we were looking at how pretty.
Dude,
your
that's
picture
so
was.
cool.
But yeah, very cool car. So I'd give that a 9 out of 10 for sure. All right, so what's your?
Ooh, hot boy.
Did you rate it already?
I said a 9 or a 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, so this car has a chassis mount, which I like chassis mounts. On that video, dude, we got so much hate. Everyone was so mad about the fucking
yeah, I
chassis
don't
mount
get
wings.
that.
Like, I like chassis mount wings.
It's a very divisive thing in the community for sure.
It's like the.
I'm
real
just not a
wheels
big
versus
wing
rep
type
thing.
of guy. I don't like the race car wing look. I think a good paint matched wing looks way better.
Nah,
any
dude,
type of
put it
big
in the
wing.
fucking sky. Fuck 'em.
Fuck that shit. You look like a ricer. Sorry.
I don't care. I think it's awesome. All right, so this car is SR20 swapped. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an SR, and he's got a chassis mount wing, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's got the
KBD
cage.
kit.
Yeah, KBD kit, and he's got the red seats. And he told me how long he's driven it on a boost leak. I think he said 3 years he's had a boost leak. Never.
Why
fixed
can't
it.
I have that kind of luck with my
God,
project
I don't know.
house, man?
The fuck?
So my guess would be is that maybe the boost leak is keeping it from spiking.
Probably.
That would be the only thing I could think.
Probably.
You know, it's maybe the tune's set for 400 and it's only making 300 or whatever, and that's the reason it's still alive.
Allegedly, it's working in the photo.
Yeah.
So
Dude, he sent me some stuff talking about it. So, anyways,
I'll give it a 7.
I
I really like that it's SR, but I mean it is just kind of like a normal looking Miata.
I'd give it a probably 7.
And
out of
I don't
5.
like the wing,
I
I'm
like the
sorry.
wing. I'll give it an 8 actually because Dawson doesn't like the wing. All right. So this car. What about you?
I'll do 7.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
7.5. All right, so this dude has sent in every fucking Thursday for like,
How have you not picked this car yet?
because every time I go to pick this car, it's like up against like missiles, and so it's like
sure.
I don't want to like punch down on anybody. Like, dude, this car is fucking crazy, you know? All right, so. Dude, like 19 weeks, this guy's like on the ball. Thursday at 3:00, he's sitting.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
Honestly.
he's on it. So, Danny Morad, he has a BMW, and
Oh, wow.
dude, it's so lit. I don't even really like
That's
BMWs.
really clean.
That car is cooler than Adam LZ's car. I like Adam LZ's car kind of, and I think the rear fender is weird. But other than
I think
that,
the livery is what makes Adam LZ's car look the way it does.
it's weird, right? It's like
That
fire.
livery is really good, and it really suits that car. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I'd say 8.5.
What motor's in it?
give it
Just
an 8.
BMW?
No, it's a turbo. Here, I don't know. You'll probably know. I don't know. It's a turbo.
Yeah, it's a BMW motor.
S54.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. He told
would
me.
guess
I
at
wasn't
least.
able to put it in because it's like all,
I really like the exterior.
dude. Look,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and E36s like
big wing gang.
yeah, E30. After driving an E36 briefly, I was like, I'm kind of over these. It was kind of
Yeah,
but no, that thing looks good.
I'll give it an 8. I really like the
I'll actually.
I'm not a big fan of the tacky colors in the engine bay. I will say that. There's a lot of color combinations going on there.
You don't like gold and purple?
I like the three
red?
color. I like the 3 color rule. You have 3 colors to balance everything out.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go. He's got red, blue, purple, and gold, all tons of colors.
Don't listen to them. I like your car. I don't like
Your car's cool, dude.
I really like that. I do like that car.
I'm not hating
I do
on
like
it.
that
I swear to God.
All right, this next guy has sent it in twice, I think, and I missed it the first time because I'm not even kidding, dude. We get like a lot.
Sure.
A lot. So 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Is that GTO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually tried
So-
to get one of those as my first car. My mom was like, "Doesn't have airbags now."
6.
Damn, Mom, what the fuck? Okay, so it's he gives me the spec sheet down here. Yeah. So it's a.
Oh, wow. It's actually kind of clean.
It's a turbo 5.3, runs 13 pounds through a TH400.
Okay.
4L60s are junk. I'm literally rebuilding one right now, so good for you. And then he has a 336 in the rear.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got all the mile an hour. So, car was rusting in a field in
Southern Minnesota.
I don't know. Anyways, and then he said, when I got it,
Yeah.
I did all of the metal work, which was extensive as well as mechanical. And dude, look, he's got a gold velocity stack poking through where the headlights is. Dude,
You know,
fucking,
That's kind of cool.
that's a
I'm not
made
gonna
dude
lie.
right there, man.
You know,
Obviously, it has the shark mouth thing, so I'm biased as fuck. I love that car.
7.
Wow, you fucking raggedy bitch.
okay, just for this sounds so cheesy,
not
but
American.
just for the story, the amount of effort, the TH400, the turbo, all that crap, 10. 10. Because working on old cars is so rough,
Oh, it
dude.
sucks.
Sucks.
Everything sucks.
Sucks.
You know, half the shit's made of lead. You don't know what you can fucking put Bondo on. That's
When
gonna
he said
fall
metal
off.
work, I was like,
Yeah,
oh
fuck
my
that.
God.
Yeah,
That is true.
thugged out. Love that car. It's cool as shit. All right, so honestly, he told me what kind of car this was. You might know, actually. I don't know. I think it's a Falcon.
Wait, can you zoom in for me?
Yeah. It's a Falcon.
Falcon.
Right? I think
Yeah,
it's a Falcon,
it is a
right?
Falcon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not an
Those are
idiot.
Australian. From Australia?
Yeah, we never got them, unfortunately.
I think I'm
Those are
pretty
cool
sure
looking.
he is from Australia. I don't know. He said
Some of those were powered by the Barra or the Barra. I can never say it right. I'm sorry, Aussies.
hold
but
on. He
The
said,
Barra. Yeah.
the Australian Chaser, the better 4-door, he says. Hold on.
Wow.
His name on Instagram is just B. That's hilarious. He says, listen to his submission. The Australian Chaser, the better 4-door, the pinnacle of motoring, menace to the sideways shuffle. I couldn't have fucking wrote that if I sat down in the middle of the night. It's hilarious. I'd give that car like a 7.5. That's a pretty sweet rig.
I've always wanted to drive
Yeah.
one. Never drove one.
Yeah, I've never driven one either.
Yeah, because that
I'll give it
motor
a
is so
7.5
dope.
too.
It's so dope. Like driving Adams was freaking terrifying though.
Yeah, I heard,
So
it moves
scary.
around a lot, right?
Yeah, like
I
2
assume
or
that's
3
why
lanes.
we don't see it very often on the
No,
channel
it's
anymore.
no like it needs
like impossible to
It
drive.
needs some R&D to like tighten it up for sure
Yeah.
because the scariest part was the rev hang. It had rev hang. So like you would get into the sequential gearbox, ba ba ba, and you're like, okay, I'm done now. And then you lift up and it would keep accelerating for like a second. It was super
That's
scary.
fucking frightening.
Yeah. But
And that's exactly why I don't ever run fly-by-wire. Ain't never gonna do it. It'll never convince me. I don't care if you can.
I want to also say that Adam warned me 100,000 times about how scary the car was.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro, I got it. It's fine.
And then
I went there and it was the first car review in probably 5 or 6 years where when I pulled the car back in, I'm like, I'm legitimately lucky I'm alive. Like that's how scary it was. Like I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but that motor, sick.
The motor, though,
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. And then, like I said, I did a couple more. All right. So this guy, I'm pretty sure he's a first timer as far as submissions go. But
That's a good kit. You don't see that kit
Ooh,
very
wow.
often.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
yeah, old school, you know?
Yeah.
Turn those wheels into
Reminds me of
3-piece,
something like
baby.
a Bomex on the old Supra.
He's got the
I
fancy
like it.
tail lights.
Yeah.
I give it an 8.
He sent me a drifting video.
I think I give it an 8.
And then the
Oh,
mods.
it's SR.
Yeah, it's an SR. Hold on. So
Oh, it's a 180 too.
Japan rep wheels. You get a bonus point with me just for saying that.
He's owning it.
Cusco. Yeah, see, that's
first
what I
fucking
think.
sentence.
That's the thing that annoys me. Like, don't like if you want to run reps, do whatever you want to do. What the fuck?
Most people don't care.
Yeah, most actual car dudes don't care. So, but like when people like this are like just like their reps, you know, like just be real. You know?
I'm sorry that
Don't
your
pretend
entire
they're real.
personality is spending money.
Dude, you know what
Like-
I said a couple years ago on my Facebook, and dude, like a couple of like groups that are about like wheels or whatever, like came after me, like dude, like commented on my pictures and called me fat and like all these crazy, which I don't care. I'm super thick skinned. I've been a troll on Facebook since the days of MySpace past. So like I'm old school about it. It doesn't bother me. But I was like, I can't believe there's this many people that give a fuck about wheels, you know?
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. And so I was like, dude, I commented on one, and a bunch of people who weren't related to the drama liked the comment. And I was like, dude, just tell the truth. You're not a car person. You're a wheel person. You're a sneakerhead.
Yeah. It's a that's a
sneakerhead
great
for
way to
cars.
put
You're a
it.
sneakerhead. You're not a car guy. You know?
I will say though, for certain track application, it is important to have a quality wheel.
Sure.
But if you're just freaking driving around and having a nice time, or going to meets and stuff, or going drifting, whatever, dude, you're gonna hurt the wheels.
Right.
Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But like if you're on Road Atlanta, you're gonna need like an OZ or an HRE or something like really strong.
course,
you know,
yeah.
but or an OEM wheel, you know.
We had a twin turbo Lamborghini guy commented on that thread, and he was like, dude, until 160 to 180 miles per hour, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and
no,
that
of
was
course
coming
not.
from a twin turbo Lambo.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, he would probably know, because if he ran reps,
He's experienced it.
we'd find out.
Probably be gone by now.
Yeah. All right. So Japan rep wheels, Cusco coilovers. I'm such a monkey. I don't even know what those are. Couldn't tell you anything else about them. Haha. Repworks 9 body kit. Oh, his body kit is Repworks. Unknown fiberglass front fenders. Attaboy. In-style fender flares on the rear. Recaro S3 confetti seats.
Wow.
This is a Frankenstein car.
Those are expensive, or at least they used to be. Since I've got it, all I've done is kooky passenger seat, Greddy shift knob, Thrash racing wheel, kooky taillight conversion, a Pexi N1 catback exhaust, new S15 rear view mirror. The old one broke off. Turns out S15 mirrors are easy to get and fit right up.
Huh. Never thought about that.
That's cool.
Wow.
S13
and now
guys.
they're all gone.
Yeah. The market is fucked. I'll send some more pictures too. I didn't get any more pictures, but yeah, I like that car. I think that car is probably a 7.5, 8, something like that.
I give it an 8.
But it's a drift car.
I'll give
He
it an
drifts.
8.5.
It's a nice drift
It's
car.
a nice drift car. Yeah.
Speaking of old school body kits, I'll touch on this really fast. What was that one that was called like the something gentleman? It was like a
dude, I know what you're
super
talking about.
obscure looking body kit. It was on Enjuku for years. I don't know if it's still there, but I almost,
Fuck, I don't know. I can't think of
almost
that.
got it. I was really close. It only really looks good with sleepy eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember the distinguished gentleman. I think that's literally what it was called.
That's the name of it?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Dude, that's a cat meme now. So you know. You know what I'm talking about? It's the cat with its arms crossed.
I'm sorry, I have to find
Yeah,
it
look it
now.
up. Look it up. You know those little finger hands? that
Yeah,
go-
yeah.
Oh, he puts them on his cat, and he's like, and then he puts a little top hat
The
on. He's like,
instant gentleman.
the instant gentleman.
This is what it looked like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
so it was
I
more
remember
like
that kit.
almost
Okay,
a
yeah.
full mold. Like it didn't have a big
It looks
grill
more
on-
OEM.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an OEM style body kit.
Okay.
It's
Throw that up there too for us.
Yeah. You have to send that to the group chat.
instant gentleman.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Okay, so hold on, let me look at this so I can sell it. All right, so this car is a turbo F20C, so it's a AP2
okay.
S2000 motor. It's 6-speed swap. It's on a Haltech. It's E85. It's a Precision 5931.
Okay.
God damn, boy. And then modded knuckles, LSD, and it's a 410 solid rear.
AP2s are better. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
I'll give it a second. So hold on, because it's not an S2000. It's a swap.
Yeah.
Muffler in the hatch doubles as central heat and air because the engine is too close to the firewall.
Oh, wow.
Dude, what a cowboy. I love it. All right, so it's a,
Whoa.
yeah,
It's an FC. Isn't it?
Wow.
I think it's a
FB.
I think it's an
FB.
Yeah.
First,
yeah, it's
not
first gen. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's second gen, but it's the
they
one that
have
it
everybody
might as well
remembers.
be.
Yeah.
Talk about two ancient relics. He's in front of a Sears.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
When was this taken, bro? You know? Well, I don't know. There's shit on the wall, so pretty recently, I guess. Let's see. Did he tell me how much power
Dude,
it
that's
made?
really cool.
He didn't tell me how much power it made. He just said that after 20 minutes, it's nice and warm in there. It was just fucking awesome.
I've driven 2 FBs. One was the stock.
Dude, the exhaust.
Dude, the exhaust. Look at the exhaust.
10 out of 10, mate.
Dude, I'm fucking into it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the first FB I drove
Mine it
was
is.
OG rotary, like the original one where you had to mix the gas at the gas station.
Yeah.
We're measuring it and everything. Then the next one was a twin turbo 1UZ drag car. It ran like a 9.6 or something crazy. Yeah, it was nuts.
I got a FC sitting out there under that car cover that I just have not touched.
I give
yet.
you credit.
It's
That's
I
a
stare
whole
at it
thing.
and I'm like overwhelmed. I'm out. Let's
All right.
put this back down.
So this guy's name is Chris Baker. And dude, it's always you fucking Subaru and Evo people that take these pictures.
Evo?
But Evo people that take
Evo.
these y'all stupid. Y'all shut the fuck up. Shut up. All right. I've been talking for an hour. I'm tired. All right. So anyways, this guy was legitimately a fan of you, and this was
Sweet.
directly from the Instagram. So he was like, it'd be really awesome if Dave would review my car. And it's
What's his name?
it's Chris Baker. I already said it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That's in the middle of when you were making fun of me.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
All right. Anyway, so
Side note, if any of these cars want, just email me, by the way. Seriously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look at him prospecting. He's
You want me
killing
to put your email in the description?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
it. Okay.
Oh, dude, I read like 100 a day. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's an STI. He didn't send the mods list because at the time he sent me a video and he was towing another STI back to his house. He's like, I'll let you know when I get home. And I was like, nah.
Subaru people are built different, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Subaru people and rotary people, they're the guys that'll do a head gasket at a gas station. They're just like built differently, you know? They're just like, I've always said it's like they're about that
Quite
life.
literally, too.
They're about that life, you know? They're like, oh, well, it's got to come apart. Well, I can do it here or I can take it home. If I take it home, it'll cost me $300 for a tow. Better do it here. And I'm like, dude, I'm like standing there like, no.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So super clean, cool picture. I'd give it probably a 9.
Hawkeyes are probably my favorite.
I agree.
Out of all of them, they're my favorite.
I had a bug eye and I really liked it.
Bruh. If you actually got that dude in blue to rate my car, I'd genuinely find a bathroom and I would shit my pants.
So like I said, this is the guy that where I changed my, because normally we would do 5 of those.
Sure.
And then I go through this thing where we try and find the most hateful comments. But recently, since we've gotten bigger, it's harder and harder to find people that have not already dunked on those people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well, that's not
Yeah,
super fun. Right? I don't want to like double dunk on somebody. That sounds stupid. So
No.
I was like, dude, I know what we'll do because we have you. We'll just do more reviews. And so this guy like got in because he was like, dude, I would fucking literally trip out if that dude in blue did my car. So that's why he's in. And I like his car.
Looks very nice.
Yeah.
Subaru guys, like I said again, you love self-abuse, dude.
They really do.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. I just drove
They're
a
bold.
STI Limited
I'll give it a
Hawkeye,
8.5.
and they're really hard to find. And it's weird how the Subaru's Limited was wingless.
Yeah.
So like the STI being wingless was the cool thing. It was like, oh, okay.
Whatever works, I guess.
Yeah.
I give it a 7 out of 10, probably.
8.5.
I'll go 8.5. Yeah.
That's one of the best body styles of WRX for sure.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think this is the last one. Yeah. All right. So this guy, dude, it's so hard for me not to be a douchebag because it's a part of the podcast. So I'm usually supposed to be a douchebag, you know? All right. So since we all know by now, Nate, I hope you're the one reading this first, which was hilarious because I am, has the passion for yellow cars, which is not true. I don't like yellow cars. I don't understand it.
My
dude.
first car was yellow.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, like I'm not
It's
like
an odd
I'm not
color.
like, dude, I'm not like the Ku Klux Klan, right? Like I'm not coming after you because you got a yellow car. I just don't get it.
It's a preference thing.
Yeah, I just don't get yellow. It's just weird. It's a weird color for a car. It's like I don't know. Like it's a sports car, but it's like the color of a banana. Like it's the most non-threatening item ever. It's just weird to me. So I don't know. So anyway, so he's making fun of me for that, which was funny, right? And it's a 17 GT performance package. It's a Forge Line GA1Rs. I guess that's the type of wheel.
Yeah.
He's got Michelin PS4s.
Great tire. That's what I have on the car outside.
Okay, swell.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Extra points.
Good choice
with,
there.
David here. And then BMR front subframe brace, 4-piece rear subframe brace, rear subframe centering bushings. What is that?
He's going all out.
Is it like move it over with a?
I'm not familiar with that part, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'd rather just be transparent. I don't know.
Vertical links and jacking rails. GT350 intake manifold and throttle body, cold air intake with 4 performance tune, Corsa Extreme catback.
That thing's loud.
Europe, I've heard.
Corsa Extremes are so loud.
Remember, Kyle English?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the white car?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah. It sounded like
kinda
a
hard to
thunderstorm every time I fired it up. Euro taillights, which I didn't even know that was like a.
Outside they're on my car as well.
Oh really? Is that your thing?
So it's very easy to understand. So all it is that in Europe, the S550 Mustang, like 15 and above, they have clear taillights instead because the DOT standards are different there and they have to have ambers in them. So basically,
that's fucking cool, dude.
I always thought the clears looked better. And so,
especially on a white car.
Yeah. And so, because it gets rid of that, like, that color contrast that's very tacky. Yeah.
Okay. GT350 track spoiler, RTR grill, no RTR lights, peasant. And, no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, it's like bright fuck off yellow. So I ended
black
up
wheels.
Yeah, so he gets a point for that. So then he gets an extra point from me where he's going to get a 9, even though it's yellow, because he sent me a dyno sheet of the difference between a GT350 intake and a regular intake.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Dude, it was like 30 or 40 horsepower.
Yep.
And he was like prepared for that because that was like, dude, look at the fucking list he sent me. He sent me a bunch of shit, and the only thing I saw was like, oh, performance upgrade. I want to know about
Mustang
that.
guys, dude, they're very detailed.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
Very fucking
very
detailed.
detailed, yeah.
I mean, it's
arguably, I don't want to say like definitely, it's arguably the biggest aftermarket in the world. So like you can literally, to give you reference, I could get on probably 10 websites, but mostly just one, and build the entire car in 3 days. Like that white car, when it was making 475 wheel, I did coilovers, wheels, tires, exhaust, suspension, all in one website, showed up at my door, finished the car in a week.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's so accessible because it's American and everything's here.
Well, I feel like they have a understanding that they know Ford's going to keep it alive. They're not going to keep going to this stupid electric crap, which they kind of are, but they're still keeping it alive at the same time.
Dude, speaking of that, I'll make it short, but I got a private invite to go see the Mach-E before it was public.
Yeah.
And so
I hated it when I drove it.
So they sent me an email, and at the time, I had some little birdie saying there's going to be a 4-door Mustang, and there was going to be an electric Mustang.
Yeah.
So I was like, interesting. The 4-door could be kind of like a Falcon thing. That's kind of neat, you know? So they invite me up, and I go into the Ford R&D building, and it is like as big as the Pentagon. It's
holy
huge. Shit. And so we go in there, and we go into the same room. They developed the Ford GT secretly. Like we're talking like keypad, beep boop bop, secret agent.
Dude, that's so cool.
We go in there, and they have all the different renderings of the wall of what they thought they were going to build, and they are not good. Like they look super ugly. Oh, I'm like, oh shit, we're in trouble.
Have any of those pictures been public?
They're on the internet. Some of them are. It basically looked like an S550 with a freaking SUV body on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank God. But we go to this theater, and they have it hidden in a box, and we're all standing there going, oh God, oh God, oh God.
It's the anticipation.
And then when thankfully we were already told it was going to be like an SUV type thing. Yeah. So we already primed that in our brain. I was like, oh, well, there it is. It's 4 doors and it's electric. So there we go. It's all one rumor.
Yeah.
So they unveil it. And I actually took a sigh of relief at first. I was like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought.
It's more like a crossover.
Yeah. So I saw it, and honestly, it sits really low, right? And the way they presented it was like, yo, if you slam that, it looks like a wagon. That's kind of neat. So we go up to the designer, and or one of the designers, I don't know what his name was. I'm like, so like, why Mustang? Like, why not call it, I don't know, Galaxy or whatever? Lightning at the time, Lightning.
Give it its own brand.
Right. He goes, well, the thing is people know Mustang, and we're just going to like add to the stable per se, kind of like how Porsche has the Cayenne and the Macan, et cetera. I go, okay, that makes sense, but they're not the same audience. Right? Yeah. I go, you're going to have a hard time. And he goes, what do you mean? He just didn't get it. I was like, this is going to be rough. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not trying to be a know-it-all, but Mustang people are going to hate this thing. And when it got unveiled, they were shocked. They were like, what is going on? Like, why do people hate this thing so much? And, but you know what the problem was? It was actually like a good car. You know, like inside, the whole dashboard's a sound bar. You have tons of...
I have to disagree.
Like, it's super...
Because whenever I hopped in it, I was like, man, I feel claustrophobic.
But driving it's a good car. It handles really, really well.
Oh, yeah, the handling is amazing.
Would I own one? No. You know what I mean? It's just not my thing. But if you wanted an alternative to Tesla or whatever, it was a nicer... I liked it more inside. Anyway, tangent. It was just a cool private meeting, and they're just like, we don't understand why you think people are not going to like it. I'm like, people aren't going to like it. You know?
I told you, sorry.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Well, where can they find you at if for some reason they don't know who the fuck you are?
Hey, man. People don't know. It's okay. Yeah. At that, oh my God, I'm tired. At that dude of blue on Instagram, that dude of blue on YouTube, and yeah, that's about it. And Facebook. That dude blue on Facebook. Big three.
Yeah. As always, I'll leave it in the description as well. But I sure do appreciate you coming on, especially driving up from Atlanta. But
you driving up to Florida anytime soon? Maybe people say that.
Maybe
we want to do Lanier, so I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping in the springtime we're doing an opener that it should be really fun. So I'll let you guys know about it.
Hell yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Let us know.
Send us a text. But appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care.
See you next week.